Fly like an eagle in the street. Fly into the future. Come on, keep on slipping, tripping, slipping into the future. Y'all hear that? Hey, Jokic is ascending. Jokic is ascending. I'm feeling MJ talks. I don't know. Something about today. I'm feeling MJ talks. Nikola Jokic, man, on to something special. Do you see what he's doing? Do you see the conversations that are happening around the NBA around right now about Nikola Jokic? Let's tap in. Let's get to it. Denver Nuggets basketball. Y'all know what time it is. Let's do it. Locked on Nuggets.
You are Locked On Nuggets, your daily Denver Nuggets podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
We here at Locked On Nuggets. This is your boy Swiper. This is Locked On Nuggets, your team every day. Make sure y'all give us a 5-star rating on Apple's podcast. Make sure y'all tap in. Find us on YouTube. Like, share, subscribe. Let the people know where you like getting some of your favorite Denver Nuggets content on the internet. And y'all, I feel good today. I feel great today. This has been a really good day. There's been a lot of great things that are happening around the league, a lot of great things happening around the NBA. And y'all, I don't know if y'all know this, but Nikola Jokic, he's getting a lot of love. He's getting a lot of love with a lot of different people. A lot of love from a lot of different people. Man, I can't believe this, man. The Denver Nuggets, man, they came out serious post All-Star break. They did what they needed to do. They did what they needed to do. First off, shout out to everybody. People been waiting in the chat. Hey, Dr. Van, shout out to you. Tommy, shout out to you. Steve, appreciate it. Always in here. Big Honey, let's go, let's go. We got Boyan, what's going on? We got Steam Machine. We got Rob. We got Moshi. Man, we got everybody in here, man. We are full. We are ready. We are locked in, man. Look, the Nuggets have been cruising 3 straight games. 3 straight games, 3 straight wins for the Denver Nuggets. And this includes some really impressive wins for the team. And impressive in that it's not about who they've been playing. It's about the way they have shown up. It's about the way the Denver Nuggets have shown up. I think sometimes people get it confused that because the Nuggets aren't playing versus the Bostons or the Timberwolves or OKC, people are like, well, it's not really like super great teams. And I get that. I fully understand that. But what you got to understand about the Denver Nuggets have to master their own craft. They have to master what they are doing. And they've been taking care of business. And unfortunately, because, tiredness, a lot of different reasons, they just didn't have the energy. They didn't have the energy. They didn't have the zeal when they played in some of these games versus the Kings twice versus the Bucks. And they got rolled really ever since that January 25th game. After they beat Boston, after they beat the Wizards, they just didn't have the energy. They went 5-5 over a 10-game stretch, and they just could not seem to get up the energy needed to win those games. So they got a much-needed rest, much-needed break. And Nikola Jokic, man, he's come back out on fire and a man on a mission. Joker, since coming back from All-Star, is averaging 27.3 points per game, 16.7 rebounds a game, 15 assists a game. 15 assists a game. And the absolute worst he has shot over those last 3 games is 54% versus Golden State. And in that game, he shot 61% from 2, I believe, and 33% from the 3-point line. So he's been cooking 100% from the line versus Golden State as well. In the last 3 games, he's gotten to the line 11 times. He made 9 of those attempts. So it's not like he's been foul baiting and all this other stuff. He's just been playing super well. So for me, man, like, if you're listening around the league right now, Joker is getting more and more love. And I know that Joker already gets love, especially since the playoff run last year. People kind of woke up. And a lot of the stuff that people were thinking that he was a dropper or wasn't a top 5 player, all that stuff is kind of come and gone. Now people are like, how good is he going to get? But what's funny is Joker is continuing to situate himself among the league as one of the best ever. And the other day, I listen to everything. The Hoop Collective, you got Brian Windhorst, you got McMahon, and then you got Tim Bontemps. And they all do the Hoop Collective together, and they're basically talking through the league. And something that McMahon said in that show, he said that you could make a case for Luka for MVP. You can make a case for Giannis for MVP. You can make a case for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander for MVP. But you have to make a case for those players against Nikola Jokic. Because what Jokic is doing to the league right now is unprecedented. Unprecedented. Jokic is continuing to put up all-time great stat lines, doing it with all-time great performances. Y'all, the dude just had 32, 16, and 16 and 4 steals. 32, 16, 16, and 4 steals. And what I love most about Joker is it's not like Joker just does that in a regular season. Joker last year in the playoffs was the only player ever to put up a 30, 17, and 17 stat line in a playoff game. Ever. Jordan, LeBron, Magic, Kobe, don't matter. Nobody's ever done that before. Jokic is one of only 2 centers to put up over 50 points in a playoff game. It's him and it's Will. So it's not like we haven't seen it translate. It's the fact that Joker has become so dominant that he has moved into a place where nothing you do as a defense or as an offense is something that scares him or makes him feel that he cannot answer directly to the crisis that is happening in front of him or solve the equation as it's happening in front of him. What I love about the Denver Nuggets is that they have turned up their tone. Turned up their tone. They turned up the heat. They turned up the energy, and they're handling business. And Nikola Jokic right now, man, if you just listen to the way people are talking about him, it's just clear. Like Luka, Shai, they're all having incredible seasons. But I think the consensus is now, my dog, Jason Tim, you got a lot of the analysts that are doing these YouTube shows, Russillo, Bill Simmons. Even the other day, I was listening to Brother from Another with Michael Smith, and they're talking about the conversation about the face of the NBA. They're arguing he should be one of the faces. He is one of the faces, which I agree. He may never be the face because he doesn't want to do that. And on top of that, he doesn't necessarily show the charisma consistently. Now, he has charisma because we've seen him in the All-Star game clips. We've seen him around for years. We've heard from him for years. He's funny. He's engaging. But what Joker is doing right now, he is starting to, percolate in a really interesting way because Joker apparently, after the Denver Nuggets kind of went on their break, and per Harrison Wynn from DNVR, he says that Nikola Jokic sent a text message to the rest of his teammates right after the All-Star game. Contavious Caldwell-Pope said, KCP didn't divulge much about what was in the text, but he did say this. It got everybody motivated. We're looking forward to winning another championship. They're serious, and they're about their business. And I think Nikola Jokic, for that to come from Joker, it just shows that there's a level of leadership, there's a level of urgency, there's a level of understanding the moment, there's a level of not wanting this to pass, because so often you can get comfortable with success. You can get comfortable with being good. You can get comfortable with being great. You can get comfortable with the idea that I've already accomplished what I set out to do. We won our first championship in the 47 years of our team. I already got 2 MVPs. I've already been first team All-NBA. I've already been runner-up this last season. I could stop here, and we could stop here, and this would have been the most successful era in franchise history, and this would have been the best peak of any player in the last several seasons. And on top of that, it's one of the best peaks of all time for a player. But that's not enough. And what I love about Joker is at 29 years old and age 28 season, he has taken ownership of the fact that he is stewarding greatness, not just within himself, but within his team. And that is what the message was. And we don't know exactly what he said. But again, It got everybody motivated, and we're looking forward to winning another championship. This reminds me of Michael Jordan. When Michael Jordan got to that point, when he knew that the Bulls were about it, when they beat the LA Lakers in their first win, they didn't sleep after that. They went and they beat the Portland Trailblazers and they beat the Suns. He took down Drexler and he took down Barkley in back-to-back seasons right after taking down Magic Johnson. Because now the energy is different. The energy has changed. The moment expects greatness. And I know I have more to get out of me. So how do I tap into that? And that's where Joker is. It's the league is collectively responding to how great he is. And the league is looking at him and saying that this is a dude that if you don't take him down early and you don't take advantage of what's happening in front of you, get up, you better stay up. Everybody is recognizing that. And everybody is responding to it. And I love that Joker is taking ownership of the moment. Because again, sometimes when you get great, you can sit on your laurels and you can sit on the accomplishments and not take advantage of everything you have in front of you. And Joker is not letting that happen. And what I love about this is, and I told y'all this before, he's on pace to win his third MVP in the last 4 years. He got second last year. Like, I think what I want people to realize, there's only a few players in the league history. And since LeBron, it's only one other player, and that's Jordan. And before that, it was Larry. You don't get players that run into that kind of discussion where in a 3 or 4 year span, they're winning 3 or more MVPs. It doesn't happen except for the best of the best. And the fact of the matter is that you have a player who's willing to commit himself, commit his time, commit his mental, commit his energy to accomplishing goals of all-time great players. That's what makes you a GOAT level player. Jordan thought like that. Kareem dealt like that. Magic dealt like that. Bird dealt like that. Kobe dealt like that. LeBron obviously dealt like that. You don't sit on it. You don't relax. Because what I think I get so frustrated by, and I know this first segment is going a little while, but just trying to get this run through. What I think frustrates me sometimes about the way people talk about him is that they get it confused that somehow Joker is not locked in a level of seriousness in the moment because he doesn't love doing media, or he doesn't love doing press, or he doesn't love doing some of the glitz and the glam. Or when you see highlights of him in Serbia, he's biking or taking care of horses, or he's white water rafting. And people look at that and they say, does he love basketball? When he doesn't seem to show at the end of last year this deep care and concern to win an MVP, when he's not campaigning to win an MVP, when he gets done winning a championship and wins 4-1 at home and he goes and he shakes the hand of the opponent, or when he's getting ready to go home and the Denver Nuggets say, hey, a couple days from now, you got a parade. He said, no, I need to go home. People get that stuff confused. You seem to think that that means I'm not a killer. You seem to think that that means I don't want more. You think that means I'm not expecting greatness from my teammates or myself. You think because I'm messing around in an all-star game, that when the moment calls for it, I'm not ready to respond and do whatever, whenever that needs to be done in order to accomplish the goal of winning a championship. And I'm not going to do it in a way that is disrespectful. I'm not going to do anything to hurt an opponent. But you better believe between the lines, when it comes to moments of greatness, I'm willing to do more than anybody else. That, to me, is what is putting Joker in like this GOAT level discussion. That there are certain things he's willing to do that you simply can't put your mind to do. You simply can't put the skill and the heart to do. That's why Michael Jordan is my GOAT. That's why LeBron James is right there for me as well. Because you can say whatever you want. But even when the chips are down, I'm going to give you 63, one of the best performances of all time, where Larry Bird called Michael Jordan Jesus and sneakers. I'm going to give you a 51, 8-8 performance versus Steph, versus KD, with no other all-time great player on my roster like LeBron James did in Game 1 in the 2018 Finals. Because that's what the moment calls for. In Joker, as much as people try to disrespect him and say he wasn't one of these players, and as much as people now are trying to suppress this reality, that's what it is. That's why you're seeing these never-before-seen stat lines, from a player that doesn't gloat and not baking in it. Like, it's impossible. It's impossible. And again, that's the narrative. It's crazy. It's completely disingenuous. And again, I want to put this in perspective. It's not a GOAT as in he's not Jordan and LeBron, but I'm trying to explain to people by the time he gets done, he's going to be in the upper tier of players ever. Maybe not LeBron, Jordan, Kareem, but whatever that tier is right below that with your Duncans and your Birds and your Shaqs, that's where it's going to be. And I think people right now are just trying to reconcile with that reality. But anyway, that's going to do it for this segment because we got to tap into some other stuff, y'all. But what we're going to do, we're going to talk about the Denver Nuggets. We're going to talk about this a little bit more, then we're going to talk about the Denver Nuggets starting five on the other side and what exactly it is that's making them so great and why they've been so great so far this year. We're going to talk about all that and more coming up next. Locked On Nuggets. Are you the kind of driver that likes to push a little further? Ever wonder what adventure could be around the next corner? Our friends at Nissan have a lineup of SUVs with the capabilities to take your adventure to the next level. The 2024 Nissan Rogue is perfect for city drives and great escapes. Class exclusive Google built-in is your always updating assistant to call on for almost anything. Gone are the days of connecting your phone. Google Assistant, Google Maps, and Google Play Store are built right into the 12.3-inch HD touchscreen infotainment system. The 2024 Rogue is the perfect mid-size crossover for your next adventure. The 2024 Nissan Armada, it will change what you expect from a full-size SUV. Picture a rugged 4x4 that can seat up to 8 in first-class luxury and style. Tow bigger and explore further in the 2024 Armada. Take the Nissan Rogue, Nissan Pathfinder, or the Nissan Armada and go find your next big adventure. Shop NissanUSA.com. We'll be right back here at Locked On Nuggets. What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to Locked On Nuggets. This is your host, Swiper. This is your team every day here at Locked On Nuggets. Make sure y'all subscribe, lock in to the channel at YouTube. Make sure you download on Apple iTunes. Give us a 5-star review as well. I'm telling y'all, man, like I think that people need to lean in to what they're experiencing. Like just accept it. And I know the NBA community is difficult to do this with because they wanted to crown Jordan. They wanted to crown LeBron. They even, in some ways, wanted to crown Magic and Bird because they came out of Indiana State and Michigan State, and they were blue chip prospects. They were blue chip prospects, and they came in the league and they dominated and won championships. But on the other end of this is the fact that, look, Jokic wasn't heralded. He was a 41st overall pick, and in all the sudden, 2018-19, he finishes, I think, 4th in MVP voting. He's first team All-NBA, goes to the Western Conference semifinals, puts up a triple-double in Game 7, and then he goes the next year to the Western Conference Finals, comes back 3-1 twice versus the Jazz, and then versus the Clippers, and then the next year starts winning MVPs. 26, 10, and 8. And all of a sudden, media analysts are saying this is the most overrated star we've ever seen. So there's a lot of reasons why people were so hesitant because he wasn't blue chipped. That's what it was. He wasn't blue chipped. He wasn't given the due as the next great thing. And so on the other side of this, a lot of people are even saying that it's Luka is up next. He's going to take over the league, which he very may will. But the issue is there were so many people that were trying to bypass what Joker was doing for me, which is why I'll never let this moment pass. Because the fact of the matter is that his Joker has just put himself in a place in the conversation where he's the most inevitable player in the league, like Thanos. It just is. It just is true. It is what it is. Sometimes players, when you get in a half-court setting, you try to find ways to mitigate players' strength. He has become so dominant that even if you want to make him a scorer, he's going to make you wrong. Even if you want to make him a playmaker, he's going to make you wrong. Even if you feel like he's missed a shot, he's going to make you wrong because he's going to get his own rebound. when you don't see what's happening on the court all around you, you covered up the second and third option on the play. Well, guess what? You missed the backside. You just didn't know he saw it. So what I'm saying is that, like, it's rare you get players that are like that. It's rare that you get players that are able to overcome even physical disadvantages like athleticism. And you're able to reconstruct a basketball reality and to do something different. And similar to Luka doesn't have the great physical traits, but he just outthinks you, and he's so skilled and talented. And again, LeBron, the reason why he overshot even the greatest of expectation is because he was so talented. He was so skilled, and you're willing to put in the work. So I think the thing for Joker is that even that text message to his teammates and what he's done the last 4 years, we're going to move into another playoff setting, and it's going to be the same thing. We did our best. We tried. Nobody around him seemed to get it done. And, you might beat him a couple of times, but you're going to get into a 7-game series, and it's going to be like, I literally, whatever we throw at him, he's figured it out. And I think sometimes players reach such a place in their career that they just become inevitable. It's just that simple. So I think a lot of this is, man, like, I think you're literally watching something unprecedented take place. And I think you might not be able to hear it on the national media. You might not even hear it on all the local podcasts. But I think for me, as somebody who genuinely values NBA history, values the contributions of Kareem in '71 when he won the first championship with the Milwaukee Bucks. I value the contributions of someone like a Jerry West. Elgin Baylor went to 8 NBA finals. I value the contributions of Wilt to win those championships. I value the contributions of Larry's and Birds and even your Bill Parishes, your Bob Cousy's, who are great in their own right. I value the contributions of Kobe and Pippen and then Jordan, Hakeem, like Duncan, Dirk. All these players were great, man. And I just think that, like, there are so many things that have to take place in a player's career, and it all starts up here, that put them in those GOAT level conversations as the best of all time at what they did. So it's just incredible to me, man. I just really hope they take time to enjoy what they're experiencing and what they're watching, just because I think that you're not going to see another run like this, except for, there'll be other great players. I think Victor Wembanyama could easily be in that discussion at one point in time. But I think that when you're witnessing it, sometimes you just got to enjoy it. And I know that, like, even it's an end goal for this, y'all, it's a championship, and that's what everybody, and as a Nuggets fan, is hoping for. It's just locking into these moments is imperative, because it's the journey. If you've been a Nuggets fan, you remember the 90s and the 2000s when 2009 you were this close and you couldn't get over the hump because you didn't have a Kobe. 2000s and 10s, you just didn't have a player that was ready to take on Steph and Durant and LeBron and all them. And then Duncan in the 2000s and all them. And Dirk, you just didn't have it. So I think a lot of this is you have to be in a situation sometimes where you just sit down and you just take in what you're watching and just say, I'm going to go along for the ride. Wherever it might go, we're going to go along for the ride. So we're going to talk about the Denver Nuggets starters on the other side. There's some interesting things I want to tap into there. But y'all, don't go anywhere, man. We got more to tap into, more to get into. Denver Nuggets basketball. This is Locked On Nuggets. Be right back. This show episode is sponsored by Betterhelp. And y'all, Betterhelp is a great, great resource, man. Sometimes we all need an opportunity to get something off of our chest. Big or small, there are certain things in life that can really start to get to us. It's important that we let it out, especially to someone who's unbiased on our lives. So today, I want to say how I'm really feeling about something, because you might even be thinking the same thing, y'all. Like, school loans, tax season, you're looking for a new job, you're looking for a new career, you're trying to find ways to take care of your family. It's all heavy. You feel the responsibility to do it. Even if you're young and you're trying to find a career for yourself, there's always pressure. I don't know what to do with my life. And I think it's so helpful to be able to talk to experts that can help you place your feelings, talk through what you're thinking. That way you can make sound and reasonable solutions about your life. So therapy can be different for everyone. Most of us have bigger problems than our favorite sports team, and it's important that you get things off your chest every once in a while. So if you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online. It's designed to be flexible and suited to your schedule. Visit BetterHelp.com/LockedOnNBA and get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/LockedOnNBA. We'll be right back here at Locked On Nuggets. What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to Locked On Nuggets. This is your host, Swiper. Thank you so much for being here with us again. Y'all, this is an amazing day. And I think a lot of people are really enjoying the NBA season right now. And whether you're a fan of the Denver Nuggets or you're a fan of a different team, it really doesn't matter. Just enjoy the basketball. Like, I know when everything happened in the summer, there were no basketball for months. We were all missing a lot of the game and a lot of the players that we so enjoy watching every day. So please continue to enjoy the rest of the NBA season. So I think there's a lot of stuff to tap into, man. Like, the Denver Nuggets starters, man, they are just absolutely blitzing the NBA right now. They're really blitzing the NBA right now. The way that they have been able to just put together like these masterful performances on such a consistent basis is literally like, I wouldn't say it's unprecedented, but for this era, I mean, really outside of those KD, Steph, Draymond, Clay teams, and Andre Iguodala, that made complete sense. Like, you have two of the 14, for me, best players of all time in Durant and Steph. And then on top of that, you had one of the best defensive players ever, one of the best shooters ever, and then one of the best for their era, jack of all trades players. But where you're at right now is that the Denver Nuggets starters have now played 682 minutes together so far this year. They have played 34 games together. The Denver Nuggets starters are a plus 14.1 net rating so far this year. They have a 125.4 offensive rating. They have a 111.3 defensive rating. And they have a 62.2% true shooting on the season as well. Those dudes are very, very, very good. Very good. And the fact of the matter is that they have been able to overcome so many different scenarios and so many different types of teams and so many different types of play styles that I just genuinely think sometimes it's really easy to get lost in the reality that there are just levels to greatness. Now, the Milwaukee Bucks starting five is really good in their own right. They actually lead the NBA, and I sorted out by units that have played over 300 minutes. They have a plus 15.3 net rating on the year, a lower offensive rating, but their defense is really good, a 107.7 defensive rating. Brook Lopez, Damian Lillard, Chris Middleton, Giannis, and Malik Beasley. The Denver Nuggets are a plus 14.1, and one of the great things about them is that their offense is the best. Like, per all the high leverage and high usage five-man units, they have the best offense of the group. But defensively, they're also really good as well. They're the sixth or the seventh ranked defensive unit of most units that have played over 300 minutes. Number one is the Nets. They've only played 313 minutes. So if I actually sort that out a little bit more, if you look at all the units that have played over 400 minutes this year, the Denver Nuggets are fifth best behind Milwaukee, the Clippers, Boston, Minnesota. So that's really good. And they have the best offense as well. And again, we talked about this before, but just even net rating information for this team, when they're all healthy and they're all on the court, the Denver Nuggets starters are blowing people out of the water. I mean, they genuinely are. They genuinely are. They're really, really good. And I think the fact that they feel so comfortable in any and every scenario is what makes them so outstanding. Jamal Murray, like one of the play that sticks out from the Warriors game, Jamal Murray has the ball at the top of the key with like 2 minutes left. The Golden State Warriors decide to blitz him and get the ball out of his hand. He does a bounce pass around the double team off his right hand. Jokic gets the ball, and without looking at the rim, he sees Jonathan Kuminga step up at him, and he knows that Kuminga's guarding Aaron Gordon. And then Steph Curry's on the opposite end. I believe that's Steph. And Steph was on Michael Porter Jr. because of the switch and the way and what happened on the play. So as soon as Kuminga steps up, he knows, based on who the man is, that means AG is open. Otherwise, if I see Steph out of the corner of my eye closing on Aaron Gordon, which he's too small, which goes to show there's levels to like IQ, then I can throw it to Michael Porter for a 6'10 elite spot-up shooter. But he notices that Kuminga steps up. That means Steph is either crashing or staying. Either way, it's a great matchup for Aaron Gordon. So he turns around, throws it to empty space because Kuminga's in the space and Aaron Gordon gets the ball, pumps and dunks it. And even Steve Kerr, after the game in the postgame says, I saw Joker do what he did, and I saw through Joker when he threw the pass. I don't even think he looked at the rim. He just threw it to a spot. So, like, the level of understanding and IQ that it takes to get to that point where you're just able to see the floor that well, Murray understands his role and understands how to play with this. Michael Porter Jr., to his credit, and again, a lot of people don't think he understands and thinks through the game like this. He understands it at a supreme level. KCP, he's been on this team less than anybody else in the starting five. He gets it. And then obviously Aaron Gordon. Like, they're all just so excellent and locked in to how each other play. And their understanding of the game and understanding of the leverage of the court and understanding of where to be at all times. So I think one of the things that makes them so dynamic and why the starters are so good is not just the skill level. I tell people this all the time. It's the culture of trust. It's the culture of trust. Being able to trust that the person next to you understands their assignment and is committed to their assignment. That's what makes great teams great. It's not just understanding how good you are and how individually talented you are, but understanding that we exist as an organism. As you move, I move. As you do, I do. As you think, I think. That's what makes championship teams like the 2014 Spurs so indomitable. That's why they beat the Heat 4-1. Like, they didn't have, like, high-level talent that was like LeBron or Wade or Bosh. I mean, Duncan was a DPOY level defender at that point, but he was old. Kawhi was ascending, but he wasn't Kawhi Leonard yet. But a lot of this is they have so many different things about their team, from Boris Diaw to Manu Ginobili to Duncan to Parker to Kawhi to Tiago Splitter to all these players, to Bonner. They had it all. They had it all, and understood that in order for us to execute and to do our job, we have to do it together. And that's why they were so hard to beat. Like, a lot of people believe and they feel like the Denver Nuggets have been sleepwalking this year. Even though the Nuggets are 39-19. They're 39-19. And yet, people don't feel like they've just gone out of their way to be dominant for more than a few games at a time this year. And what I love about it is, like, their net rating is not going to tell you dominance. Their net rating is not going to tell you best team. But their closing net rating, when the starters are there, they're by far the best. And I think the thing is about, like, the Nuggets is that they can activate their greatness more often than anybody. So it's really like a testament to the culture from the Cronkies to Calvin Booth, Jim Connolly as well, but Calvin Booth and Michael Malone, that they have been able, and then obviously Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray, that they've been able to build this ecosystem that the players, Jokic, Murray, Porter, Gordon, KCP, Peyton Watson, Christian Brown, Reggie Jackson, Zeke Naji, Justin Holiday, DeAndre Jordan, Vlatko Cancar, now the young guns, Julian Strother, Jalen Pickett, and Hunter Tyson, Colin Gillespie, that they have been able to buy into the system and culture, and obviously your best player has to embody it. And the team has embodied it. And they want to win the right way. And they want to win the right way, doing the right thing for each other. And they're going to continue to win championships in their mind as long as they can. So it's really, truly a special thing, y'all. I hope y'all appreciate it. I hope y'all really continue to enjoy the rest of the season. They have a great run coming up, a great string of games that I know Matt Moore and Adam are going to be able to lock into, because they play versus the Kings, and they have the Heat, and they got the Lakers, and then they got the Celtics and everything next week. It's going to be a really, really, really great stretch of games that I think people hopefully will enjoy. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe, share, like the video on YouTube. Give us a 5-star review on Apple iTunes so more people can hear about the great content that you're getting. Nikola Jokic, GOAT trajectory. The Denver Nuggets starters are Monstars. Fly like an eagle. My boy Michael Jordan, y'all. The Denver Nuggets, they're on the way to doing something special. Yet I'll see y'all on the other side.